everyone, this is my movie review for the 2009 science fiction action film District 9. This is one of my favorite movies, because the plot is a really interesting alternate history, and because, aesthetically, it's unique and imaginative. The movie's plot has an emphasis on biology, the alien diet, their morphology, their reproduction, their biotechnology. All of these topics are explored to some degree in the film, and the plot itself is driven by the transformative effects of exposure to a mysterious alien biofluid as it slowly turns the main protagonist into an alien being. The movie begins in 1982, when an alien ship descends from the sky over Johannesburg, South Africa. Teams bore holes into the spaceship to find out what's inside, only to discover a bunch of starving, malnourished aliens living in their own filth. They take them down as refugees and settle them in a huge makeshift camp called District 9, which is soon to be under the control of a private military company called MNU, or Multinational United. The aliens are called prawns because they have faces like giant prawns and crustacean-like bodies. Their alien bodies are actually really fascinating. They're bipeds, with legs structured kind of like a horse, with short shin bones and longer bones between their ankles and their toes. They have scaly flesh, and in some places what looks like an exoskeleton, which is all seemingly covered in a thin layer of slime, and their mouth parts are a protruding mass of tentacles, like Cthulhu, or some kind of freakish insect. My field of specialized knowledge is biology. My understanding of physics isn't as good. So I suppose I'll ask my listeners who are more physics inclined to make a comment explaining how they think the aliens propelled their massive spaceship. I'm kinda interested to hear what your ideas on that might be. I mean, they keep the mothership hovering silently for 28 years, apparently using some kind of liquid-based technology. This fluid technology seems to be the core of the aliens' tech. It's basically in everything they use, and it seems to be involved in the genetic recognition component of their technology. For example, the alien weaponry can only be used by the prawns, because somehow it doesn't react to human DNA. It only works with prawn genetic material. This is a completely realistic technology, because we have stuff like this now. We have technology that can detect and read your DNA. It just takes a little bit of time to get the results. But with that said, I mean, it's entirely within reason that a species that's able to conduct faster-than-light interstellar travel has the technology to read DNA a little faster than we do now. The fact that they use it for their weapons shows that the prawns don't want other species using their stuff. This is kind of interesting because it implies that the prawns have come into contact with other alien species, and their technology might get traded around the galaxy. Perhaps, for ethical reasons, or just for tactical superiority, they've DNA encoded their weaponry so that only they can use it and no other alien species. It's probable that they've gene-locked a lot more technology than just weapons, perhaps even their spacecraft, or maybe even industrial machinery. Anyway, it's eventually decided that the prawns being kept in District 9 have to be relocated to a more organized, but more prison-like camp called District 10. This relocation project is led by Vicus Vandermerve, played by Charlton Copley, who's a bumbling, nervous wreck of a bureaucrat. This relocation is coercive, with MNU security forces coming in to force the prawns to move out. These mercenary forces are led by a shithead psycho of a mercenary named Kubus Ventnor, played by David James, who says he loves watching prawns die. So Vicus has to basically go through District 9 and inform the prawns, household by tin shack household, of the relocation, so as to loosely follow the law. During the job, they come to the shack of a smarter prawn that's given the name Christopher Johnson. The alien, Christopher, sees right through Vicus's relocation order, telling him it isn't legal and that he refuses to be relocated. Vicus threatens to have Christopher's child taken away because of unsafe living conditions. He waves his hand at all the trash and rubble sitting around the little backyard area. Christopher protests this, he's like, stay away from my child, and they just restrain him. And so Vicus goes in to search his house. While he's searching through Christopher's house, He sees a whole bunch of computers and computer parts and weaponry, and he's like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely a criminal. He also finds a small cylinder filled with the alien fluid. A scene earlier in the movie shows that Christopher has been working to gather that fluid from scattered alien technology that he's accumulated over 2 decades for some hidden purpose. While handling it, the cylinder sprays the black fluid all over Vicus's face, which begins to transform him into an alien prawn. The process takes place over multiple days, and it's super gnarly. It's visceral and personal, with several scenes of Vicus crying in desperation as he tears off his flesh to reveal the new alien tissue beneath. The process is really fast, too. I mean, it does happen over the course of only a few days, so I guess it's kind of slow for a movie pace, maybe, but as far as a transformative disease goes, that's crazy fast. As his transformation is progressing, the suits and bureaucrats and heartless scientists at MNU discover that Vicus is now able to interact with alien technology. His chimeric DNA allows him to use the alien weaponry. They begin conducting brutal and horrible experiments on him, and right before they kill him to harvest his organs, he fights back and escapes. Vicus runs and hides in District 9, and Kubus Ventnor, the mercenary, is sent to find him. Vicus goes to the only place in District 9 that he remembers, the house of Christopher Johnson, where he first got infected with the alien fluid. Human and alien meet and talk about the situation, where they ultimately decide to break into MNU headquarters to find the alien fluid and get it back. The rest of the movie is an increasingly intense, escalating conflict between Vicus and Christopher against both MNU security forces and the African gangs that operate in District 9. All in all, I give this movie's plot a 10 out of 10, or a solid 100%. I freaking love this movie. It's got badass aliens, rowdy alien weapons and technology, a unique plot, cool aesthetics, it's got an internal consistency, and it all marked District 9 as a refreshingly unique standalone film. I loved the visuals, I loved the action scenes and the characters, and I felt like their motivations were more or less realistic and authentic, and the movie was really able to get me immersed. In case you couldn't tell, this is one of my favorite films, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes science fiction.